Hello and welcome, I am SimUK and this is Forza Horizon 4. This is an open world racing video game released on the 2nd of October 2018. It was developed by Turn 10 Studios and Playground Games and published by Microsoft Studios. The primary designer was Ben Thackerfell and it's available on Xbox One and Microsoft Windows. At the time of this recording, Forza Horizon 4 will cost you between £40 to £80 if you want all of the bells and whistles and all of the upcoming updates and expansions, and initially I felt that this price was way too high. However, I bought the cheapest version at £42 I think, and I really don't feel robbed, so I have to retract that. Furthermore, I'm enjoying this game so much that I've actually paid for the upgrade, and now I'm running Ultimate, so this game has cost me approximately £80. The game is based in the UK, and being a Brit, I can vouch for its authentic look and feel. They really have captured the UK rather perfectly. I 100% recommend this game to you, and within this review I will not only tell you why I recommend it, I will also tell you everything that I see is wrong with it. I will even cover what is confirmed to be coming, and everything that I would like to see improved, added or changed. This is the most honest fact-based review that you will find on YouTube. Let's start with the bad stuff. If I can't put you off by telling you all the things that are wrong with this game, then that's a really good indication that this game is absolutely excellent. At the moment, this game is buggy. Now, nothing's particularly game-breaking because it's an arcade game, but still, it's incredibly buggy. There's a clutch grind audio bug. This happens even when you're out of gear or using the flappy shifters. Basically, the clutch wants you to be 100% engaged at all times, so anytime you touch a gear or shifter, you will hear this audio bug. Forza Horizon 4 allows you to rebind keys, but this is absolutely terrible. This is the most buggy thing in the entire game. Basically, any settings that you change are not retained. For example, I changed the up-down shifters on my G29 in order to look left and right. The next time I played the game, they had reset themselves. So now, when I look left, I also change down a gear, and when I look right, I go up a gear. Forza Horizon 4 also partially supports second devices. I have a Cytec side panel. Initially, this wasn't recognised at all, but then, for some reason, it did register, but actually any buttons that I bind do not bind correctly. So there is a joystick on my Cytec side panel which I wanted to use as a handbrake. The game registered it and confirmed that it had been bound, but it never actively worked at all. The same thing applies to any of the button configurations that I set up. Nothing seems to work. As a YouTuber, I have certain limitations to what I can and cannot include within a video. One of the most prominent problems is music. Now, Forza Horizon 4 comes with a streaming mode. Basically, this is music that you're allowed to upload with your video, and you will not get an infringement placed upon you. Unfortunately, not only does this streaming mode not work, it actually actively resets itself every time you restart the game. It is clearly an active attempt so that they can claim your revenue for promoting their game with your content. This is nothing short of theft or deception or, in my humble opinion, fraud. It is possible, apparently, to turn the radio off completely, but surprisingly enough, this isn't exactly very well promoted, and, once again, each time you start the game, it will turn itself back on. I think this should be dealt with legally and stop companies like this from basically stealing revenue from very small YouTubers like myself. Now, the biggest problem for a sim fan like me, or anybody who has a wheel configured to their PC, is the steering wheel support. It is terrible. It is woeful. There is no 900-degree support for steering. Force feedback is way too sensitive. There's a bit in the middle and then nothing at either end. I have tested all of the settings and configuration on both max and minimum, and to be honest, they felt exactly the same. It's also not easy to create a profile in Logitech Profiler because some of the files are hidden. The executable isn't easily accessible, and setting up a profile that allows you to change the degrees of steering and the force feedback settings is incredibly difficult as a result. Just to clarify, force feedback does exist within this game, but it is so weak that by merely steering into a corner, you will override and basically wipe out that force feedback feeling. Now, one point that I want to make that is almost a good point but actually ends up ultimately being a bad point is that each car behaves very, very differently. I took my Cozzy, which is a 4x4, and my Audi, which is also a 4x4, round the same track. Now, the difference between the two was incredible. It is possible, and I think probably likely, that by changing configuration and upgrading certain parts of cars, you can improve the handling on each car individually. So it might be advantageous to have a setup for each type of car, which currently you cannot do. You can only have 5 preset profiles. Now that would be fine if you had one rally preset, one road preset, one off-road preset for example, but the game doesn't really support or accommodate individual setups for individual cars. So being able to adjust the force feedback strength on a rally car, putting it up to maximum, would be great if you could do that for just one rally car that needed it, but not all rally cars. I had real difficulty getting the Cozzy to go around this particular track, but taking the Audi around the same track was immeasurably easier. The in-game replay camera, in my humble opinion, is absolutely terrible. There literally are no decent camera angles. There's no drive-by, there's no trackside cameras, none at all. There are quite a lot of camera views included in the game, but most of them are absolutely useless. Incidentally, you cannot change the camera type whilst the UI is hidden, and the ones that are available don't actually work properly. An example of this is the slow spinning cam, which actually stops after about 10 seconds. There's a nice collection of UK-based AI vehicles driving around. Unfortunately, they drive very slowly. I think they're capped at 30 miles an hour, and this includes driving on roads where the speed limit is 60 or above. This can be quite frustrating and annoying. It kind of detaches you from the immersion that there otherwise is in this game. There's also a drone included in the game, but unfortunately it cannot fly above 6 foot. Now, the reason for this is unknown, but I assume it's because the modelling is designed in such a way that by jumping all the way up to the skybox would, I don't know, highlight some areas that weren't as neat and tidy as the rest of the game appears to be. It could just be a bug, or it could just be restricted in certain areas. I don't know for sure, but it's nice to have a drone, but completely pointless if you can't actually take it up into the atmosphere. And finally, in terms of negative aspects, this game is only available via the Microsoft Store. Now, my personal opinion of the Microsoft Store is pretty bad, and not everybody's going to agree with me on this. One of the biggest problems as a YouTuber is that none of my recording software can actually capture this game. As soon as you try and bind a recording software to the game itself shuts down. Now, I feel that this is an intentional thing from Microsoft to encourage people to use their built-in recording software. Again, it's Microsoft doing things on purpose to maximize their coverage and gain a monopoly. I'm never ever going to support that. Okay, that's enough negativity. Now I'm going to get a little bit excited. This game is the most fun I have had since Gran Turismo on the PlayStation 1. I absolutely love this game. They have got almost everything right. In many ways, it is similar to The Crew 2, a game which I absolutely dismissed as total rubbish. But in FORZA Horizon 4, everything is better. The game looks incredible. FPS is great, you can get 60 FPS on consoles, it supports HDR and 4K. Driving 2 events is almost just as much fun as racing them. The voice-activated GPS called Anna is absolutely superb. So many games would benefit from having this voice-activated GPS system. I really like it. Although, and I've already complained about this, the AI vehicles do seem to be stuck or limited at 30 miles per hour, even on roads that they should be driving much faster. I hope this gets fixed because it really does step away from the otherwise very immersive experience. And the reason why it's so immersive is because of the environment and the inclusion of sublime features. You want to see wildlife, you want to see airplanes, you want hovercrafts. This game is full of it, and it's full of Britishness, which is so important. Just to name a few things, there are Robin Reliance and other classic UK vehicles. The road signs and the road markings are all absolutely perfect and it feels very authentic. I've seen a few red phone boxes around. These are harder to find in the UK than you might expect these days, but they are very British. You want to drive up a mountain? Then drive up a mountain. Maybe you'll find a secluded barn with a classic car inside.
Found it! What did I tell you? Be right there.
Getting down the mountain again can be a little bit trickier, but this highlights another great feature of the game. You can actually fully damage your car, but I would like it to be a little bit more realistic. At the moment, most of the damage that you inflict upon your car, unless you get to a point where it's totally broken, just fixes itself immediately. I would like this damage to be more persistent. Lose a wheel maybe, and then require a tow. Still, even with 100% damage, you can pay 10,000 credits and fast travel to have it repaired. Or, if you're tight like I am, then you can just hobble along and find a way. If you're persistent, you can make it back without having to pay 10,000 credits. And of course, we now have seasons, something new for the FORZA Horizon scene. These, which when fully unlocked, will last for one real-time week. This is brilliant, it's so unique, and it allows everybody to experience a real season. Adding this real-time element to it really makes seasons feel like seasons. I think it's so clever, and I have so much respect for them for doing this.
Autumn season. You are this close to qualifying for the next round of the Dirt Racing Series. You should come back to Tarnhouse, it's completely different in autumn.
It also has dynamic weather, although I'm not entirely sure if when it rains puddles will form, similar to that of Project Cars 2. But certainly when seasons come in, the roads will change, they will look different, they will feel different. It's a really good, nice feature. And the game has a lavish sprinkling of British humour, something which as a Britishman, I really appreciate.
These were boarded up to mark potential hazards. Then me and Alex went around and put whacking great flags on all of them. Voila, a danger sign is born. So long as you survive, they'll probably let us build more.
The UI and the career progress is nothing short of excellent. There is so much content here, and there's an additional story mode coming for free in the next few weeks or months. Even in the default pack, the cheapest £40 version, there are lots of cars to pick from, and there are even more available via DLC. You're not going to be short of 400 plus cars either way. And there's also some additional locations coming in the future, one planned at Christmas 2018 and a second one to be released in the new year. Each car has plenty of modifications available to it, and something I really like is the ability to auction your car. It retains all of the original owner's details and every car's history is tracked. I love this feature, it is so amazing. The physics, yes, they're arcadey, but they're good. They are really good, much better than Crew 2, for example. And we have avatars. There aren't many avatars to pick from, but there are a lot of cosmetic things that you can buy to make it more unique. Some dances, some clothing, some of them are silly, some of them are fun, some of them are quite nice. But all of this stuff is just adding to the immersion and the unique aspect to you. The online experience in Forza Horizon 4, aka Netcode, is absolutely spot on. You can have up to 72 people playing in one server at any time, and it's absolutely seamless. Only friends and those included in your convoy can actually damage your car. So if there are some people around who like to mess with your very expensive racing car, they're not actually going to be able to damage you at all. Now this is a nice touch, and I'm really glad to see it. There's something called Blueprints. Now I believe this was also available in Forza Horizon 3, and there's more to come. Blueprints allow you to create events, but soon you will actually be able to create your own race routes. Now that's something I'm quite interested in because I've seen certain roads that I think, oh wow, that would really work as a track. So I'll be looking forward to making my own track soon. Audio in a game is so important, and in this game, other than the bits that I've already mentioned, is pretty great. I wouldn't say it was especially wonderful, but it is pretty darn good. The car sounds are okay, some are better than others, and going through tunnels, for example, sounds really good. One of the things I did like is if you're at the main event and you've got the radio on, the music outside is actually the same as the music inside your car. So if you turn the music off inside your car, you will hear that the music outside is absolutely the same. There is a distortion in terms of audio levels, and it just works really well. I only discovered this when I was trying to turn off my own radio. Also, there's something called Spin to Win. This is a nice little additional feature, and yeah, okay, it's gimmicky and it's arcadey, but actually it's done really well, and I actually really quite like it. This game has so much content, and I've literally just started playing it. There is so much more that I haven't seen yet, so much more that I'm going to be able to do. I think this game is an absolute winner. I don't think you'll find many people on the planet who found that Gran Turismo 1 on the PlayStation 1 isn't a game that they hold in very high regard, and this, I think, is on the same level as that. I really, genuinely, honestly do. I'm a hardcore sim fan. This game is not hardcore sim, but it is so fun and it is so well put together that I just enjoy being in this game so much. There are a few things I'd like to see added. Now, I'm a sim fan, so probably most of this is going to lean rather more towards simulation than arcade stuff. I'd like to see fuel gauges included in the cars and petrol stations where you can go and refill your car. Again, this is just an immersion thing, and I think it could be easily done and it would be really good. I think there should be fines against your credits in order to repair your car if you damage it on the way to a track. I'd like the damage to be more persistent. I also think that if you hit other cars, AI cars for example, or people's walls, which I wish were solid and not made of polystyrene, then I think being fined to repair those cars as well would encourage more clean, safe driving. You'd still take chances and have a bit of fun, but you will be punished if you make a mistake. I would like to see the wheel animation in cars improved, and obviously wheel support is an important thing. Having the ability to change your in-game steering wheel to match your 900-degree steering wheel or above is an important thing for sim fans, and it's an important thing for arcade fans. At the moment, the wheel support in this game is diabolical. Hopefully they will listen to the community and change this, because really and truly, it's one of the only things that I feel is missing in the game. Whilst we're discussing things that are missing in the game, head tracking. I cannot understand why any driving game ever would release without track IR support these days. It's ridiculous. Nobody ever drives a car with their head pointing forward the whole time, especially when you get to a junction. You need to know what's beside you. When you're racing, you need to know what's beside you. The only logical real way to do this is with head tracking. If you're on console, this probably won't affect you as much because it's a lot easier to deal with. But when you're playing on a PC and you're trying to get a really immersive experience, this is an absolute deal breaker. Another thing I'd like to see regarding turning corners and changing at junctions and stuff are indicators. Now, rightly or wrongly, I believe that the AI cars sometimes have indicators, but quite often they just stop and turn off without having indicated at all. Maybe it's because it's a car that doesn't have indicators on, maybe it's a bug, I don't know, but certainly your car cannot have indicators on, and I think it should. I really think that because you're driving around on British roads, and these are not race cars, these are road cars, you ought to have indicators included in your game. I've already mentioned the damage system a number of times. I would like it to be more persistent, and I would like you to have to pay for repairs, especially at least when you're running at the hardest sim level, which is the only way I play, by the way. Police cars. I'd love to see police cars in the game. There are police cars in the game, but I'd love to see them AI controlled. I'd like to see them chase you down, I'd like to see them give you points, I'd like you to have a driver's license that you can get points on and perhaps even lose your license if you're not careful. I also think the game would benefit from having quite a few more AI vehicles. Now maybe this will affect FPS, I don't know, but either way, the vehicles that we currently have need to be able to travel faster on roads that have a higher speed limit. I can only assume that this is a bug, and I hope it gets fixed sooner rather than later. Now the biggest thing for me, and the only thing that really aggravates me, really winds me up and annoys me, is the fraudulent streaming/audio configuration. This is nothing short of fraud or theft. I think this needs to be dealt with legally, and I don't think any game should be allowed to do this ever again. Small YouTubers like myself are absolutely dependent on the tiny amount of income that we get from each of our videos, and to start taking that away for no good reason is, I think, disgusting. Controller support is not where it needs to be. It kind of half-arsedly does support second devices like my Cytec side panel, but it doesn't work properly. The whole key binding thing is broken. That needs to be fixed. This whole thing needs to be addressed. Certainly the majority of focus here in this game is for consoles, that's clear to see, but please don't forget about PC players. Now predominantly PC players don't really like arcadey games like this as much as console players do, but this game is so good, it has so much content, so much positive energy, so much good about it, that the PC community is really going to get behind this one. There is no denying it. This is an absolute winner. I'd also like to see some visual feedback on button configuration so you can see which axis is effectively bound to which thing, and then you can test it all before you save it and move away. Anyway guys, that is it. I am SimUK. This is Forza Horizon 4. I absolutely 100% recommend this game to you, even if you're only interested in sim games. It's so much fun. It's got so much content. It is a real winner. Thanks for watching. Take care. Till next time. Goodbye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I really appreciate you coming along and taking the time to do that. I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who watched this video today. Special big thank you to our patrons and supporters on Twitch. But everybody who comes and watches, you all count, you are all part of this. And I thank you so much. If you hit that like button, I will like you twice as much. Even more than that, perhaps. It is for you guys that I make these videos, so it matters to me a huge amount if you enjoy watching them, and if you don't, you need to tell me. So thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, until next time, goodbye for now.